The files are located on the second floor, at the end of a long hallway. The fluorescent lights above flicker on and off. Open the door on the right. In the bottom drawer of a file cabinet, there it is, a folder labeled with 3 words that are poured onto stories. Stories of history, stories of people, stories of death. I'm Luke Poling, and this is Famous Last Words. Last words, by definition, come at the end of a person's life. Hopefully, for all of us, those final utterances leave our mouths after years of unceasing happiness. For this week's subject, however, those last words come at what seemed like the beginning of a life filled with promise. Sirkka Linnea Jansson was born on May 1, 1920, in the village of Rivola in Finland. She was the second oldest of 5 children. Growing up, Sirkka was athletic and liked being outside. Her hobbies included gymnastics, climbing, and Finnish baseball, which is similar to American baseball, except for the fact that the ball is thrown vertically by the pitcher, a ball caught by the fielder is not necessarily an out, and they call the designated hitter a joker, and there's 3 of them per inning. Oh, and you also can't hit a home run. Sirkka left school at age 15, and just 1 year later was discovered by famous Finnish director Valentin Vala. Vala had started his film career directing 3 movies with his friend Theodore Turgai, who was known as Finland's Valentino. However, after Turgai started to direct his own movies, Vala moved on himself. Vala ended up directing 44 feature films. His best-known film was seen by approximately 1/3 of everyone in Finland. Vala had asked Sirkka to audition for him, and without telling her family, she traveled to Helsinki for her tryout.
Markus, Allan, minä, sinä. Kiitos. Mutta kyllä sotan.
It was a great success, and just 1 year later, she was starring in Vala's movie, The Women of Niskaveri. Sirkka didn't get much traction for the film, yet before the end of the year, she had already starred in her second film for Vala. If 1938 wasn't notable enough for starring in 2 major motion pictures, Sirkka also got engaged. She had first met Finnish Army Lieutenant Teemu Leena when she was 15. He was 21. Leena later described her as, quote, the most beautiful creature I had ever met. He proposed on May 1st, 1938, Sirkka's 18th birthday, and though they couldn't spend that much time together between Teemu's time in the Army and Sirkka's shooting schedule. The engagement hadn't been made public, likely not to hinder Sirkka's budding film career, though in June 1939, with the state of the world looking more and more like it was headed to war, the two decided to marry in October. After making that decision, Sirkka went to the village of Hauho to finish her 3rd film, The Rich Girl.
Ollaanko vähän hurjia?
Kertaasti, mutta miten?
Lauletaan, tanssitaan, lauletaan!
On Sunday, July 30th, 1939, the cast and crew of The Rich Girl gathered at the Hotel Anlanko to celebrate. The movie was close to finishing, and everyone was happy with how the shoot had gone. The hotel was a newly built luxury hotel in the Lake District, and on the same property of the 5-story building were ski tracks and a golf course. The hotel featured glass-tiled floors, natural wood, and stone everywhere. The views were gorgeous. It's hard not to imagine having a great time in the hotel's restaurant, where the group of cast and crew had gathered for champagne, brandy, and coffee. Joining the group was Lieutenant Jacko Jamari Sali, a friend of Vala's. He had hit it off with Sirkka almost immediately. The two danced and drank and enjoyed themselves. Around midnight, Sirkka took Jacko by the hand and led him to the elevator, pushing the button for the rooftop terrace. It wasn't dark yet, and Sirkka likely wanted to stand on the roof and look out over the beautiful landscape. Sirkka ran ahead when the elevator doors opened, heading for what looked like a round viewing platform rising 13 feet above them, with an attached ladder and a railing at the top. Laughing, she raced up the ladder, reached the top, and vanished. The viewing platform was actually a chimney leading directly to the hotel's furnace. Jocko climbed the ladder to see where Sirkka had gone to, and as soon as he realized what had happened, he ran downstairs and told the hotel staff, who joined him in the race to the basement boiler room. He pulled Sirkka from the furnace's fireplace and tried to revive her. A doctor showed up minutes later and pronounced her dead. Timu Linala was at a training camp at the time of the accident. He had spoken to Sirkka that morning and said she was excited for the wrap of the film and their upcoming nuptials. He volunteered to tell her family the terrible news. Sirkka's death was on the cover of the newspaper the next morning. It was even covered by the American press. Because the rich girl hadn't wrapped filming yet, Sirkka's final few scenes were filmed with another actress standing in for her, and the camera set far away to help mask her face. The Rich Girl premiered in September of 1939, 1 month before Sirkka was planning on getting married. The tragedy in Sirkka Jansson's life was that there really wasn't that much life that had transpired. Everything lay out before her, a beautiful horizon of possibility that ended that night on that roof. A film actress on the verge of stardom, a woman who had finally found a companion who both loved and adored her. Maybe Sirkka was looking for some fresh air that night. Maybe she was just in a celebratory mood. Or maybe she too saw what lay out before her and just wanted to delight in the joy that was her life. That delight echoes off her final words, showing someone so happy, so oblivious to any sort of tragedy that could possibly befall her. She turned to her companion, no doubt a smile on her face, as she said to him, "Let's go wild tonight." Famous Last Words is a production of the Professional Production Company. It is written and narrated by Luke Poling. That's me. It is produced by Heidi Hegquist and myself. Our assistant producer is Sabrina Thompson. You can find the show on Instagram and Facebook under Famous Last Words Pod, and on our website you can find full transcripts, credits, and much more, famouslastwordspod.com.